Chris.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, what's going on?
It's just me and Zach and Chris again for this episode, everyone. Our buddy's still belling on us.
Kick them all off.
Kick them all off.
You'll find out later. Yeah, we've never really had a whole lot of sports discussion on this podcast, mainly because me and Zach and Evan are mainly the ones that could really talk about sports. Presley and Leighton probably would just sit there and look at us.
Eyes glazed.
But us three all have past with sports, and we all enjoy sports a whole lot. So, Chris, what is kind of your history with sports? Like, what'd you play in the past, whatnot?
I played football for 2 seconds.
2 seconds?
Literally.
I didn't even know you played football.
It was for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Like, I wanted to be a wide receiver, and then they put me on the O-line, and I was like, I don't like being hit very
That's a
much,
tall
so,
receiver.
Yeah,
You just throw it up to you. And
I could have been a mean tight end, though.
like Thanksgiving football games with your dad, and he's just, like, towering over you. Yeah, you could have done that.
I could have done that. But
Why'd you quit?
Oh, no, I didn't like being hit at all.
Honestly, same. I didn't either.
And then, obviously, I played basketball for 5-odd years.
5 years.
Yeah. Just
Should have continued, man.
I couldn't do it in college because I didn't have a high school record.
Oh. So what did you...
homeschooled.
You only played rec?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Schools wouldn't let me play on for them, so didn't really pursue that too much.
But instead, you went with what route?
Bowling. I've been doing that since I was 8.
Bowling.
I remember you quit band because of bowling.
I did do that.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
And you still do bowling for money now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
Still
your-
do leagues and tournaments and whatnot?
And what's your average?
It is anywhere in between like 230 and 260 as of right now. As of last league.
That is good, by the way. Just so you guys know, that's a good average. I hardly get over 100 whenever I bowl. It's very
I
rare.
think the highest I've ever bowled was a 185, and I was so proud of it. Still am.
I think I've hit 200 before. I think that I've hit
never.
200 once.
I get
Like-
mad when I hit anything less than 200.
Why? Okay, explain to me this. Why is the curve when you bowl, why is that necessary?
It's not necessarily necessary.
Why did the
but-
better ones do that?
Longevity, really. They can sit there and do that all day long. I sit there and do that all day long, but it's not something that we do. It's whatever bowling balls we have, honestly. The bowling ball does it. We don't do it.
How important is it for the lanes to be slick?
So if the lanes are not oiled and you do that whole curve thing, it'll go literally from right to left very quickly. Because it depends on the condition of the lanes, on how the ball will react to the lanes. And that's why bowling balls are made different, because they react to different lane conditions.
Well, the reason why you spin it when you roll is that for the pins to move more, or instead of
no.
just going straight up?
Well, yes, kind of, for that kind of reaction towards the pins, but also to get through how the lanes are oiled as well.
Interesting.
Because there's thousands of different oil patterns, especially for like tournaments and leagues and whatnot.
Okay.
Interesting.
And when did you start bowling?
When I was around like 8 or 9, whenever my dad got back from his first tour.
Then
Wow.
you still okay. So are you in a league, or do you just find?
Yeah, I just finished up a league. I finished up 2.
So there's seasons to it. When does it start and end?
I should be starting another league here in like about 3 weeks.
Oh, so it's like
it's bowling's year round. There's
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like for like the Professional Bowling Association, theirs is literally the same schedule as NBA. Really, they kind of start
In the winter?
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then they're actually finishing up their season right now.
So you're going to the Vegas Nationals.
Yeah. So my dad is going to be mainly bowling in it, and I'm going to be a rep. Really, I haven't decided if I'm going to 100% bowl in it just yet, but
Okay.
he's going to be on like a 4-man team, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's only going to be like a weekend type thing.
Oh, very cool. So is that televised?
I believe the finals will be televised.
Cool.
Interesting.
I believe the finals will be televised. I'm not 100% sure.
How much cash you think you've made off bowling? If you had to
Before
guess.
college, a bunch.
But after no.
After college, not nearly as much.
Well, you kind of had a kid, so.
Well, yeah.
Second one on the way.
Second one on the way, yes.
You want to tell the people how long it took before you realized y'all were pregnant?
No.
Hasn't he already said? I think he's already said on here.
Has he?
I might have. I don't know.
Took you quite
minute.
a while to
Hot
figure
minute before
out.
we realized it.
Yeah.
About 5 months, right?
4.
4.
20 weeks.
Yeah. Same difference. So Zach, you're like baseball.
Mhm.
That's all you played, right? Just baseball, right?
Yeah, I never played another sport.
Okay. Take us through that. When'd you start?
I started when I was 8. It was for I guess I can say, the Rockville Rockets.
So you never played t-ball?
No.
Just straight to baseball?
No, straight to coach pitch.
That's more rare than I think you realize.
Really?
I think so.
Mhm.
Most of my teammates when I played, they started like younger and played t-ball, and then they worked their way up to like pitching machine, and then coach pitch, and then kid pitch.
I mean, that's what my brother did. He's been playing baseball for as long as he was born. Like,
Yeah.
he's been playing baseball for a long time.
So I think that's rarer to see. But anyway,
When it switched to kid pitch, that was when I was considering quitting, and then I didn't.
because it was
thankfully.
hard.
Well, I was afraid of getting hit. Like some kid throwing a ball at me, and I was worried I was going to get hit in the face.
It
or
stopped
something.
hurting for me after a while, for some reason.
Interesting.
Like I just got used to
It's
it.
because you can't feel pain.
Well, yeah, I don't have any,
Yeah.
any emotions or anything.
Nowadays,
Right.
people pray to get hit while they play
But
baseball.
yeah, I was lucky enough to have good coaches that taught me how to take a baseball coming right at you,
Mhm.
and so when it came at me, you have to turn your back because
Yeah.
that hurts a lot less in like your chest or whatever, and you kind of have to actually lean into it instead of tuck away from it.
Yeah.
So you just turn your back and lean into it. It didn't. I mean, it hurt for a split second, but after
Yeah.
that, it kind of went away. But there's
Stings.
this one time where I was playing for my school team at this point, and this kid threw really hard, and I think he actually hit me on purpose because I remember before the pitch he smiled, and I remember thinking, oh God, what's he doing? This is either gonna be like a nasty curve,
Yeah.
or he's gonna hit me.
Oh.
And so I panicked, and I turned to the ball,
Yeah.
and it hit me right on the nipple, and
Right on the nipple.
it gave me a bruise for a good minute.
I feel like the worst place to get hit is either obviously the head, but you have a helmet on, or the knees. I feel like getting
Knees,
hit in the knees
ankle sucks.
yeah.
I've had that happen.
I've been hit in the
Wrist.
knee, ankle, hip bone,
Elbow.
crotch, neck, and mouth.
How did you?
Golly.
How did you let that happen to you? How did you get hit in the mouth?
So the way it happened was that this guy had a fastball, and I don't know where he was trying to go with it, but
mouth.
I walked backwards, and it turned out it was a slider, and it just
Oh.
popped me right in the mouth.
Lovely.
I was like 12.
So he was a lefty.
Yeah. No, he was ready.
Oh, okay.
And there was I think to this day, I hate telling this story, but I got to give props to the kid. When I was in high school, I think it was my sophomore year, I had this one guy up in White House, Tennessee, and I don't even know the dude's name, but we would go and travel up there. And normally it was a shutout, but this pitcher, he was like a solid 5'4", and he had a curveball like no other. I mean, first pitch curveball. It was coming straight for my head, and I literally dropped to the ground, and it curved in and hit the strike zone.
Wow.
Corner of the zone. And I was like, holy crap.
That's nasty.
Next pitch, I'm thinking, okay, I just dropped. He's throwing the same thing. It was even faster than the last pitch. Went straight for my head, dropped to the ground, hit the corner of the strike zone.
Wow.
He did that 3 times in a row, and I dropped all 3 times. My coach did not even say a word. That's how upset he was. I didn't know what else to say. I'd never seen cheese like that.
I remember the first curveball I saw too. It took a couple years. I was probably like 10 or 11.
Mm.
Yeah, 10 or 11. And I was in the what's it called? I was in the district tournament for Little League, and we're in the semifinals. And there was a man on second. We were down by 1, 2 outs, and I was up to bat. It was like an 0-2 count, I think, and he gave me just a filthy curveball. It looked like it was coming at my head, so I just kind of leaned back, and then whoop, there it goes, and then that was ball game. I was very mad.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially for
like a
seeing
movie.
your first
Yeah.
one. Oh,
What?
Especially
My
for
first
seeing
one? Yeah,
your
that
first
was
one.
at least that was the first one I remember.
Yeah.
And then
The first one that was actually anything to note.
yeah, that one actually made a difference.
Curveballs before would just drop a couple inches.
Yeah, yeah.
Not anymore.
Oh no, but yeah, because I played t-ball. I started when I was 2,
Yeah.
and then
Wow.
played t-ball for a couple years, and then went to pitching machine, then coach pitch, and then worked my way up. So for you to start just right out the gate when you were 8 years old, I think that is kind of rarer for kids that play baseball.
Yeah.
But I played basketball. I played football for 2 seasons. Same as you. I didn't like to be hit.
I didn't like getting hit, dude.
No.
I was like, I'm not playing this right now.
Well, and my first season I was 6. And when I was 6, I was kind of smaller, so I was running back. And I really got hit then. I didn't like that. And then I didn't play for another, I played again when I was in 7th grade. I was 12, something like that. And then I was offensive lineman, and I hated that because that just wasn't fun.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So
that's what they put me as, too. They put me on the line. I was like, I don't want to do this.
No. But basketball and baseball were my main things. And then I ended up quitting both of them around the same time. I was like 15. Because it just got to the point where it was like, it wasn't fun anymore. It was a chore. It was like, I have to go to practice now. I have to play this game. I stopped enjoying it. I don't really regret it because it really did. Like, it made me almost mad having to go to all that stuff. Because that was like my childhood was like, I go to school and then I had practice during the week and games on the weekend. I was like 10 or 11 years old playing like 90 to 100 baseball games in a few months because of all the travel ball I did.
Yeah.
And we would travel all over the place, and like that was my weekend. Then had a couple of intense coaches that took the fun out of it too.
Oh yeah,
That's
never
always
fun.
the worst thing, too.
Hated that.
It definitely make or breaks athletes.
Like one of the coaches I'm thinking of, he knew what he was talking about. He was a good coach when it came down to it. But like being 11 years old, 12 years old, you're getting screamed at by this man. That's not. It just took the fun out of it. It made you scared to mess up.
Yeah.
And like during that, it was like good because it actually made us perform better because we didn't want to mess up. But
wasn't fun.
no, it wasn't fun.
It was like bench warmers.
Yeah, you were just getting But I mean, because that coach, I'm grateful for him. I am, but. Because, like, that team, we had a travel ball team that won state. We were ranked number 1 in the state for a couple years. And then we ended up going to the 11U World Series in Gulf Shores, which was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. And then we ended up finishing 7th in the nation. And that's
pretty cool.
That was incredible.
That's cool, man.
But, yeah, like, looking back on it, I have no regrets on quitting when I did because it just was not fun anymore.
Yeah, but I still loved it up until I quit. But the thing is that I never really quit. I got forced out of it because of COVID.
Well,
Check out last episode.
Well, and, I mean, you also got hurt too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we went into all of that last episode. It was terrible, but it's just I don't know. I'll tell you what though, my favorite part of pitching was throwing Knuckle Curve. That was my pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't throw a changeup to save my life though.
I had 3 pitches.
What was yours?
Fastball, circle change, and a cutter.
There you go.
I couldn't throw a curveball. I never learned how.
No. It's not too hard. It's more so like I realized how important hand position was. Like you got to leave space between your fingers and your palm.
I barely pitched though. I was first base and third base like whole time. I didn't like pitching, and my coaches knew that, so they would put me in if they needed relief, like for 1 or 2 innings, but I hardly started and whatever. But yeah, then I stopped playing, but I still love watching sports, and I mean, dude, I think I've told this story before. That's been like my forte. Like when I was a kid, instead of watching cartoons, I would rewatch my team's games and stuff like that. So like sports have always been my thing, and then I went to school for it and whatever. But the 3 of us, why I wanted to talk about sports is we literally just all the time riff on it forever.
Yeah.
So here's a topic of discussion, Chris. We had this the other day. You think maybe the NFL is rigged?
Oh my gosh.
It's the dumbest thing.
That is so.
Let's hear it. It.
There's just, I mean, come on now.
No.
This past
Then why do you hold on?
Super Bowl.
Why do you watch it if you think it's rigged?
No, it's just a Super Bowl. I'm just talking about Super Bowl. I'm not talking about regular season or anything like that. I'm just talking about Super Bowl.
All right.
Just talking about Super Bowl.
Why was it rigged?
It just seemed like that game was cut and dry, bought and paid for it before it started. I don't know why. I had my suspicions. Don't get me wrong. Both teams played fantastic games. They really did. Like, there was not many mistakes on each side. They were both playing both sides of the ball really, really well. I don't know. I feel like just somebody up there wanted Patrick Mahomes to have another ring.
Oh, man.
Another ring, yeah.
I think, respectfully, that is the most stupid crap I have ever heard in my life.
Here's the thing: is I think I explained this the other night when we were talking about this. When you're really, especially in a game that important, you really, whether you like either team or not, most people root for a team, and especially if you're really into NFL as we are.
Yeah.
Like, you have different opinions about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs because they've been winning a lot. And this is how I felt about Tom Brady and the Patriots. They were always winning, and I never rooted for them. But they won. It was never I never thought it was rigged. It's just the system they had and the game plan they had for almost every game, and the coaching was phenomenal. And they had the perfect game plan for every team, even if they lost. And that's just what it was. They out-coached and they outperformed the teams they beat. Barely, because most Super Bowls they barely won. But
there hasn't been too many Super Bowls that have been just a wipe. Just an absolute wash.
Besides Broncos and Seahawks back in the day. The Seahawks beat the Broncos with Peyton Manning like 44-8 or something.
But come on now, that's...
Was that rigged too, Chris?
No, that's just Peyton Manning being Peyton Manning.
Oh, no.
I just think about it like this. Let's just take the whole conspiracy out of the way for a second. You grow up playing a sport that you love, and you're told to get better at it. You grind. Let's just say you're a wide receiver, and you go through high school. Coaches tell you how to work hard, how to make it to the next level, how to get into college, how to get scouts to work at you. You get to college. Okay, scouts are looking at you. This is what the program looks like. This is how you get bigger and beefier, and then finally one day you get called up to the NFL, and someone has to sit down and tell you, okay, everything up to this point has been great, but the rest of your life is about to be a lie because everything's rigged. The season's rigged, Super Bowl's rigged, this is your schedule, this is what you're supposed to do. Put in the work, have fun. Do you really think that's what happens?
I'm not, like I said, I think it's just Super Bowl. But also, everything changes once money's involved.
I think if you wanted to make an argument that refs are paid off, that is very, very, very possible, and it's happened.
But even in the NBA, it has.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
But even then, there hasn't been one game. I mean, there's been certain calls that you look at, and they're like, okay, that could have impacted. But if refs are paid off, they're not going to know, like, this call I'm about to make is going to impact the game. The refs are going to have to be bad the entire game to make sure one team wins. Yeah. We've never seen that. We've never seen it so horrific that
we haven't seen it frequent. It pops up here and there. Not this past
season. But that can just be bad refs.
The season before was pretty bad when it came to refs. It was pretty bad.
There are game decision calls.
Yeah, there are definitely some game-changing calls.
Like, you ever seen Angel Hernandez behind the dish?
Yeah. Yeah.
That should be enough for you, but I don't know. Like, I can't remember who it was. I just saw this on TikTok the other day. There was some MLB player who talked about how he saw Angel Hernandez at a bar before a game one time, and he bought him a round of beers, and Angel was like, you don't want to say anything else to me? And the guy was like, no, I just want to buy you a round. See you tomorrow. And then for the rest of his career, he got good calls from Angel.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I forgot who it was, but he said that openly. And it's like, yeah, stuff like that happens.
I don't know, man. Even if they are paid off, I feel like eventually people would have had to caught on like they did with that NBA ref.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
People would have had to catch on. And there's too much talent and physical, athletic ability that goes on in the NFL for that to be rigged. And like what you were saying, people that are that competitive, that are in the NFL, they're, even if they are being paid to lose, like the players, that ego and that mindset and that competitiveness has to take over at some point and be like, I'm not losing this game.
Yeah.
I don't care about the money. I want to win. Like, there's too much that goes into an NFL game for it to be rigged. Like,
I could see that.
The freaks of nature that people are in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like Patrick
There
Mahomes.
are a lot of them.
Yeah, like Patrick Mahomes, the way he contorts his arm and like he's not even fast, but he somehow gets around. You can't rig that stuff.
The talent is weird.
It's
right now.
insane. Yeah.
Everybody's a superstar.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are.
Everybody's a superstar.
And then you have people that are nobodies one season and they come back the next season and they're just. All right, when you think of like your Mount Rushmore of athletes, like you have 4, not necessarily the best, but like 4 that you like the most across any sports, like what they mean to you, like your favorite athletes of all time, like your Mount Rushmore.
Oh.
Who are those? Not the best, just your favorites.
You start and then I'll fill mine.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's a. I gotta think about
tough.
that.
number 1, no question, he's the center face of it, is Joey Votto.
I can see that. Yep.
He made me want to be a first baseman. I copied his stance, his batting stance. Not only is he a great player, he's a great person. And like he always does a lot of charity stuff, and I don't know, he's a great guy. So he's up there. Someone y'all won't know his name. Well, you know, Zach.
Yeah.
Chris Lofton. He was a basketball player for Tennessee. I wanted to be him when I was about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
He's the all-time 3-point scorer in the SEC. He was insane.
Wait, all time?
All time in the SEC, yeah.
Did he ever play NBA?
Nope. His defense wasn't good enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was a little smaller. He still plays overseas somewhere.
Wow.
But yeah. So Chris Lofton, and then probably Peyton Manning. I put Peyton Manning up there.
Oh,
Even though I didn't see him play for Tennessee, because that was before I was born, he was still one of my favorite players. And then last one, oh my gosh, probably
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Yeah.
Oh no.
Probably Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams. You know who that is?
No.
You know who that is?
No.
He played for the Dolphins. He was drafted by the Saints. He's a running back. He's the guy. You probably won't know him. He got suspended for about a year because of weed, and then he came back like completely different person, like different. The way he talked was different. He had dreads and he was bald after that.
Whoa.
But he was still really good. There's like documentaries about him and stuff. Like he could not stay off weed.
Okay.
And then he came back and like better person and was still phenomenal. But he was really good. So yeah, Joey Votto, Chris Lofton, Peyton Manning, Ricky Williams. Those are my 4 on my Mount Rushmore.
Interesting. I think. All right, so if I had to think about my Mount Rushmore, first person to come to mind. Oh, that's hard, but I'm gonna have to say Chris Johnson,
Okay. Yeah.
running back for Tennessee
Yeah.
in the 2000 club.
CJ2K.
Yeah, he was really great. When I was
disgusting.
when I was growing up watching football, he was like my idol, and
Yeah.
it sucked that he was such a testy person on the field and off the field. But you know, that's definitely up there. Oh, actually, no, put him in my 2 spot. Kobe Bryant is in
Okay.
my 1 spot,
Yeah.
and you
R.I.P..
know, I'm gonna be the first to admit it. I am a bandwagon Kobe Bryant player. Okay. And it was really sad to me that I only learned how amazing he was after he died. Because you gotta understand, I started watching basketball in like 2015, 2016. That was right when Stephen Curry started to catch some notice.
Right about when Kobe was about to retire too.
Yeah, so all I ever saw from Kobe was
Older.
this like confident, cocky guy who could make maybe a third of the shots he heaved up.
So he was just older at that point.
Yeah, and I only ever saw the end of his career at the Lakers, and he never did anything. So I was like, okay, why does everyone say he's like so amazing? But after he died and everyone started talking, and then it was so impactful, and I was like, why does everyone care so much about this guy? That's when I started learning about who he was, Mamba mentality, like he has the kind of work ethic I strive to have, but will never have. You know what I mean?
I don't think anybody's gonna.
Anybody.
Yeah.
So
Kobe
to
was
me,
different.
that's a Mount Rushmore player for me.
And going back to CJ 2K, Chris Johnson, God, he was one of those rare people that, like, when he had the ball in his hands, he literally at any moment was gone. Like,
It didn't matter.
It did not. Any time he got the ball, it was like he might be gone right now.
It didn't matter if there was green grass in front of him or the entire team.
Yeah.
He was going to get some yards.
It was ridiculous.
So what was it? Was it in 2008 that he reached the 2000?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then what was kind of crazy about him, if I remember correctly, like towards the end of his time with the Titans, I think he struggled with injuries. And so he didn't do a whole lot, maybe his last year. And then he went to the Cardinals. And there was a couple years where he didn't do much. But then out of nowhere, this one year, like, he was back. And, like, he had a phenomenal year. I think he made the Pro Bowl again. And I remember he was on my fantasy football team. And, like, he was, like, one of my best players on my fantasy team, like, after his prime. But he all of a sudden had a phenomenal year. Then after that year, he kind of started to decline again. But I think he has 10,000 rush yards for his career, a certain amount of touchdowns. Like, he has the stats to where in a few years he could be considered for Hall of Fame. But he just didn't play long enough. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
That was definitely tough, especially being a running back. That longevity.
Running backs sadly do not last long.
Yeah.
So that would be 1 and 2 spot for me. The third spot, I'm going to have to give. Can I give him a tie for the third spot? Tim Tebow / Peyton Manning were a big deal to me. I love Tim Tebow because of everything he did. Obviously, like, with me being Christian and seeing how he, like, presented himself on the field and faced all that adversity was pretty cool. And then, but you know, he wasn't all that great of a player. That was the thing. Like, he was good
in college. He
was amazing in college. I don't. It was crazy how he didn't make that jump. You know, it was sad to see, but. Then he tried to play baseball, which I thought was kind of cool. But
then he actually came back to the NFL
and was
as a tight end,
yeah.
only for preseason, and he sucked.
Yeah.
So he got released before the regular season even started. That was like 2 years ago.
But then as a player, I love him. But then I think about Peyton Manning and his legacy that he left at Tennessee, and not even that, but also the Broncos. I was a Broncos fan just because of Peyton.
Yeah. I think everybody was.
Yeah. And so I think that was amazing. And then my last spot has got to be Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh,
Dirk Nowitzki is my guy. He just put such an amazing print on the game, like, especially with his fadeaway shot. Oh, golly. I tried to develop that when I started playing basketball, which is crazy. Like, I tried playing basketball. No one ever taught me the game, didn't understand it. So, like, I remember I went to a tryout. And it was bad. They also put me up against a guy who was 6'11". So
my condolences.
Yeah, I know.
I would love to find some type of league or something. I'd have to get in better shape and start practicing again, though.
There's a league at my gym on Tuesday morning. The Tuesday morning league, you know.
Tuesday mornings.
That's actually pretty common amongst gyms, and I didn't know that.
Okay.
But there's like Tuesday morning leagues around, I think, the country, but maybe it's just a state. I don't know. But yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore.
That's a good one. Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I've been sitting here thinking about it, and I'm gonna be weird.
I mean, it's yours. So.
Yeah. No. First one, probably I'm gonna start off with a bowler. Goes by the name of Chris Barnes.
Wait, is that the famous guy who says, "That's you know
no,
you are"?
No, I know exactly who they are. That's PDW. That's P. Weber, who's also another GOAT in the game. But Chris Barnes, I've always loved his game. I've always loved how he's just developed, and even as he's getting older, he's like in his 50s now. He's still in the game, always doing well. So that's probably my first one. Second one's gonna be a little weird, but I grew up watching him. Shaun White, the Olympic gold medalist snowboarder.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Shaun White. It was also always just awesome to watch him. Just an absolute athlete. Snowboarding is not an easy task for anybody, but being a gold medalist back to back, you know, is just always awesome.
It's hard to say after that. I'm waiting for you to say LeBron James.
No.
Okay.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna disrespect LeBron in his game, but
That's fair.
because he's the all-time scoring.
Yep.
LeBron's just disgusting.
Yeah.
When it comes to basketball, surprisingly, Nate Robinson.
Oh, Nate Robinson. I
I
like that
like
one.
Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson.
Yeah,
I've always
that's-
liked Nate Robinson.
That's cool, man.
Just being always one of the shortest dudes on the court, but it did not matter.
And winning a dunk contest.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
That's insane.
Insane.
When
But
did he retire?
long
Just-
time ago.
Was it?
I want to say it was like 10 or 15 years ago.
By the way, obviously we can't put this on here. I just was looking up Chris Lofton highlights, and this is when he was in college. Again, this was on Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, this was a game winner. Look at this.
Didn't Kevin play for Duke?
He's right there at Texas.
Texas.
That was
Damn.
deep too.
Wow.
Chris Lofton was a beast.
Different
That's
breed,
gross.
if you will.
I wanted to be him. Like I had a jersey of his, and I would put his jersey on and go outside and shoot basketball and narrate it like I was an announcer. I love that man.
Oh, what kid didn't do that?
His
That was so much fun.
his jersey just got retired for Tennessee too.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
But yeah, do you have any more on your Mount Rushmore?
Let's see. I had Chris Barnes, Shaun White, Nate Robinson.
Any
I gotta give
Titans up there?
it to Derrick Henry.
Oh, there you go.
That was gonna be my
okay.
next one.
That's
I gotta
a
give
good
it to
one.
Derrick Henry. Don't
Derrick
get me wrong.
Henry is the new and improved Chris Johnson if he can actually put up the numbers like he's.
I wish Chris Johnson was Derrick Henry's size.
I think the reason Derrick Henry hasn't been doing well like he's supposed
Injuries.
to.
And
Well,
O-line. But
O-line
we'll get
is
to
the
that.
biggest thing.
Well,
We'll
what's
get to that.
crazy is he had a down year last year, but he was still one of the best in the league.
Really?
Didn't
Yeah.
he still run for 1,000?
Oh yeah, he had
Yeah.
like 1,300 yards.
Okay, yeah.
I think he was second in touchdowns too. Well,
That doesn't surprise me.
yeah,
Tannehill had no one to throw
yeah.
to.
Derrick Henry's had kind of a unique career because his first 2 or 3 years he was a backup
Mm-hmm.
to DeMarco Murray. Remember him?
Yeah.
Talking about at Alabama?
No,
No,
when he
no,
played for the
at
Titans,
Titans.
his
Oh.
first 2 or 3 years he was second string.
Why? But he was so good at Alabama.
I don't know.
Honestly, I don't hate it just because it kind of humbles those types of guys too.
I think almost the coaches thought he wasn't really a starter. He was one of like the change of pace type players because
He was a starter at Bama.
he was. I don't know, but I don't know. A few years after he was in the league, he got the starting job, and it was just like immediate.
Immediate.
He was insane, but yeah. And then what's his? Do you remember Lindell White? You remember that name?
That sounds extremely familiar.
He played with Chris Johnson, and they had a nickname. I think it was like Flash and Smash or something like that. Because Chris Johnson was electric, and then Lindell White was this big, kind of like Derrick Henry, was bigger, and they led the league in rushing for a few years.
Wow.
But
That's the one thing I hate about the Titans, man. They get all these great weapons and can't produce.
except for receivers, they have nothing. Right?
They have no last season not this past season, but season before that, they did have one of the best receiving cores.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just died for some reason.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee Titans have always struggled with an O-line, though.
Yeah.
Always struggled with one.
Zach, you don't keep up with NFL much
No.
or at all, really, until the playoffs, probably, right?
Yeah, when the playoffs start, that's generally when I start watching.
Or you'll watch the Titans, like if they're on or something.
When the Titans regular season is going on, I will try to play my schedule so I can watch.
Yeah.
But besides that, no, I don't really keep up. Like I know, what was his name? Aaron Rodgers just went to the Jets, and that's a
Yeah.
huge deal.
That's crazy.
Especially considering his relationship with the 49ers. I know some people thought he was going to go over there.
Because he's from Cali.
Yeah,
Actually,
and that
really
was
surprised he didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do they still have Garoppolo?
No.
No,
Garoppolo went to
he's,
Vegas.
Raiders.
Raiders.
Well, I don't know what they're doing, but that was crazy. Anyways, I just, I like the NFL. The issue is I don't understand the game like y'all do.
Yeah.
Especially you. I mean, I know you know the game, but yeah. Anyways, Madden, I just disintegrate. But like, I don't
even touch
understand.
Madden.
I don't understand when to throw like a slant route or how man-to-man and zone works and how
Yeah.
effective it is with
There's-
certain players. Like I just don't understand.
There's a
any
lot
of
that goes into it.
There's a lot that goes into the game of football.
So
But
it's
it is
just
beautiful.
never
Yeah.
been for me. I enjoy watching. I'm a casual watcher, I guess.
More
But-
of college football, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. But when it comes to like NBA, in
No.
MLB.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I don't think people realize actually how much goes into football. Like it's not just like
It's a lot.
some weird looking ball that you throw and run. Like there's a lot of
It's a lot.
analytics and a lot of thinking that goes into
There
it.
was a lot of really good defensive teams this past year.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
49ers were
We weren't bad.
insane.
No,
Titans weren't bad
defense,
either.
I can't complain.
Yeah.
I really can't.
No, if we were
Except for our
necessarily-
secondary.
Wow.
Our secondary I can complain about.
I don't know about that.
Who's a player you thought never got like as much credit as they deserved?
NFL?
Anything?
Oh.
Mm.
It's hard to say.
I'll give you a biased one. Tua.
Oh, Tua.
People hate on him just because like he's got a weird throw when he's a lefty and he's
Well, it's not
And he
just
gets
that.
injured.
I mean, he does get injured a lot, but that's also not his fault.
yeah.
I think Bam Adebayo doesn't get enough love,
Ooh.
which he's on the Heat right now. But when
Yeah.
he was on the Raptors, oh,
What do you think about Trevor Lawrence? He's getting better, right? Good quarterback.
he's on the Jags, right?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, I have no reason to dislike Trevor Lawrence other than he came from Clemson.
Yeah.
But he honestly did have a really good
did.
season last year.
Let me show you this. All right, let me show you his stats this year. 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks. Let's look up Tua's stats. Because they're not far off.
Yeah, they're probably the same.
I think he had less yards, little less
A
yards,
little less yards.
same touchdown to interception ratio.
Mhm.
And people are absolutely praising Trevor Lawrence and just hating on Tua.
Trevor Lawrence looks like the Easter Island statues.
Yeah. But, like, I just don't get it because Tua was literally, before he got hurt last year, he might have 40 touchdowns if he didn't get hurt. He was out like 7 games.
Still better than Tannehill.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
was that because of his the hit?
His head.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He had 2
was scary.
concussions last
Yeah.
season that were very scary.
That
Yeah.
was scary.
But
And then no one talks about Josh Hamilton and how scary that was too.
Josh Hamilton.
Is that the right
You
name?
mean DeMar?
DeMar Hamilton.
DeMar Hamlin.
DeMar
Hamlin.
Hamlin.
Josh
Wow.
Hamilton was a outfitter for the Texas Rangers.
Oh. Yeah, not
That's
the
why you're
same.
thinking that.
No, DeMar Hamlin.
That was extremely scary.
He has recovered well, though.
Yeah,
He's
he's
playing
gonna
again.
he's gonna come back eventually. He said.
He has recovered well. That is a very scary thing to happen, though.
hmm I was watching that live as I do with almost every primetime NFL
Yep.
game, and the broadcast didn't do anything for like an hour.
Oh, they cut it off completely.
Yeah, eventually they're like we'll keep you updated on what's happening. We don't know what's gonna happen. They just canceled the game.
Well, yeah, they rescheduled that game.
It never got played. They never finished it.
I thought they played that game.
No. If you look back, it like on their record, it shows the Bengals and Bills have one less game played than anybody else. Yeah, they just never finished it. No,
So
that was
sad.
extremely
All right,
scary.
We're going to play a game of overrated, underrated. Real quick.
Oh yeah, let's
Okay?
do it.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Joe Burrow.
I think he's underrated.
I think he's slightly overrated.
I don't know. I think it's too hard to say because he's still in his rookie years. You know.
Yeah, he was only in his 3rd year. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think he's a great player. I think he's slightly. I think his personality is what people like him for.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be as hyped. But he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
I think it's insane to think about the jump between college and NFL. Like I'll
The
see
difference is insane.
like Hendon Hooker. All right, absolutely dominated that year. That last year he played, and then coming off the injury, going into the NFL, like he hasn't done very much.
We
Like,
just got drafted.
He just
Well, I
got
know.
over. He hasn't played in the NFL yet.
Yeah,
I
he
know.
didn't play.
but what I'm saying is that like me not knowing football, instant starter, but apparently not. I just don't know enough about it. I guess.
I would have him sit for a year.
Here's the
Maybe.
thing with Hooker, is-
Especially after his injury. I would have him sit for a year.
he's coming off ACL. He's 24 years old, which is
Which is
older
old.
for a rookie.
It is older.
Yeah.
And a lot of his success, and this is coming from a Tennessee fan, can be looked at his head coach, the system that Hendon Hooker was in.
I've
Josh
heard that.
Josh Heupel's offensive mind is crazy,
I love Coach.
crazy creative, and so Hooker did have receivers just wide open sometimes.
Sure.
But he also made incredible plays. So that's why he wasn't a first-round pick.
Yeah.
He was a third-round pick, which still isn't bad.
The draft was weird.
Yeah, it was.
The draft was really weird.
But Hooker's going to a Detroit system where Jared Goff is a quarterback right now, and he's okay. He had a good season last year, but he's probably not forever. So they'll probably sit Hooker for a year, maybe 2, and learn, and then he'll get his chance.
I think that would be the best thing for him if they want him to continue to be successful.
It's especially especially coming off of his injury.
Yeah.
All right, Josh Allen, overrated, underrated?
Overrated.
Thank you.
He's overrated.
Is that a receiver?
That's quarterback for the
it's
Bills.
quarterback for the Bills. I'm sorry.
Physical attributes are insane. Like, he's an athletic quarterback.
Big dude.
He's
a big dude that can move.
Like,
Big Ben could never move.
No. And yeah, Josh Allen's quick, too.
Josh Allen is pretty quick.
I think he's 6'5".
I want to say.
Yeah, he's 6'5", 238.
238.
Wow.
He's a big dude.
Yeah. And average tight end.
Height?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been a mean tight end.
Yeah.
I would have loved that.
Average tight end height and weight is 6'4", 254. So he's taller than the average tight end and like 15 pounds less. Like, that's a big quarterback.
That's a big dude.
But he just has trouble with turnovers. That's his thing. He just throws it around too much.
I also think his receiving core needs to be reworked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got Diggs.
He's got Diggs, and then who's their running back? Singletary?
Yes, but did they just pick something up? I can't remember.
I don't remember if they did or not. I mean, Singletary is not bad.
No, I mean, he's all right, let's see here. I'm going to find random athlete. I can only find NFL. I was going to try to find like a random athlete, and then we would discuss if they're overrated or underrated.
I like that.
Here, I'll do NBA because I know a little bit. Zach knows more about NBA than he does.
Yeah, I try to keep up with it as much as possible. Like, these playoffs are weird right now.
I'm a little shocked.
I'm impressed, but also disappointed.
I'm a little shocked that Los Angeles has been doing as good as they have, and Golden State did as bad as they did. Klay Thompson in the playoffs did not perform nearly as well as he was supposed to.
And I was going to talk about that too. That kind of upset me.
I think in the field, he shot for like 20% or something.
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner?
Y'all know much about him?
I have no idea who that is.
Nope.
I think he plays for I can't remember.
I have no idea who that is.
Oops.
But I think, I don't know. It's hard to say who's going to win in the East because 76ers and Celtics is a hard matchup.
Here we go.
Yeah.
But
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid?
Properly
He
rated.
just won MVP.
I think he's properly rated. Defensively, he's a monster.
I think
He can do a little bit of everything. That's what's pretty cool. That's what's changing in basketball too. You got these centers shooting threes and point guarding it up.
Like Anthony Davis able to shoot a three. That's
That's what I say. That's why I think Joel Embiid is properly rated.
Yeah.
I think people give him the right amount of praise, but also the right amount of criticism.
tad overrated. But then you look at someone like what's his name? Devin Booker on the Suns. Way underrated player. Like the fact that he never makes it hardly to the All-Star game is kind of sad. But yeah, and then like Luka Doncic.
However you say his name. Just say Luka. We get it.
I don't know. We all know who Luka
Oh
is.
God, I love Luka. I love Luka. That's
No
like one of
idea
my
who that
favorite players.
Maye Oni.
No idea. Who that is.
I don't know who that is.
No idea.
But yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like I grew up. I hated basketball. I didn't understand it. I liked to shoot hoops like any other kid.
Yeah.
But you know, when I came to watching, I didn't understand it. But then I started realizing, like, once I started playing, like how hard it was to do the things they did, and then that got me interested. I got hooked. That was so cool. And then I don't know, basketball to me is not as hard as a lot of other sports, but it is definitely a mental game. And
It's definitely a mental game. It's definitely a very athletic game.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
And to see that, like, the best shooter in the world, Stephen Curry, undisputed, thank you, no arguments, is shooting like a career average of like 50-ish% from the 3-point line. And that's like the best. It's pretty cool to me. And it's not just like, oh, he shoots 95% of the time. And it goes, like, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
Do you remember thinking when you were a kid, like, the best players, like, didn't mess up at all?
Oh, yeah.
And like, now you're older, they're like, wow.
Yeah, like Babe Ruth always got on base. He never struck out.
Never. That's so funny.
And then like my dad was a big Larry Bird fan, and so I always heard that. So I remember asking like, did Larry Bird ever miss a shot? He never missed, right?
Oh my gosh, that is so
Larry
funny.
Bird.
Larry Bird to me is somehow underrated. Like I don't see him in a lot of top 5.
I think it was before our time, really.
Yeah.
I think he was hyped back then.
He was.
Have you seen his highlights, dude?
Yeah.
It is insane.
Yeah, I actually watch a lot of highlights. I like to watch Wilt Chamberlain a lot, and even Charles Barkley, old Shaq, any of those guys,
Has anyone ever seen Kenny the Jet play? Because I sure haven't.
No.
No, not
I don't
once.
think he was that good. He's just known for his TV stuff.
Or what's that other guy? The white dude that's on that TNT.
The bald guy?
Yeah.
I don't think he ever played. I think he's just a analyst.
No, he played.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know who. I can't remember.
Ernie?
Ernie.
Is that it? Ernie.
I don't know if he ever played.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, I got it. Ernie on
Ernie. Did
TNT.
you ever play, honey?
Did you ever play Ernie?
American sports commentator.
Ernie Johnson Jr.
Play basketball?
Did he?
Oh. Ernie Johnson. What the? Wow. He did.
Yeah.
76ers?
He was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers, 14th round. What?
In 1973.
73.
That was before they knew how to dribble.
That's crazy. Wait.
Before they knew how to dribble.
Wait,
They were
now
just
it's
throwing
saying
the
he
ball
didn't
around.
play. Although Ernie Johnson commentates on the NBA, he has actually not ever played in the NBA. I'm confused. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm confused.
All right, let me see this random NFL Will. Oh. Yeah, right here. Zach?
Yeah.
Hopefully it shows very popular players so you can participate. Spin it. Who's overrated?
it.
Who's underrated? Oh, we got... You know who Justin Simmons is? Broncos safety?
No idea.
Safety for who?
The Broncos. Don't recognize it?
Mm-mm.
Let me look up NFL quarterbacks.
NFL quarterback wheel. There we go. Or receiver wheel. I'll do that one too.
NFL QB will. This should be a little easier.
I'm just gonna say overrated to everything.
Tom Brady. Oh, Drew. Actually, let's talk about Geno Smith. He's right there.
Geno Smith.
He had a good season last year.
He did well.
He
I'm
did
not gonna
very
lie.
well.
He did well
for not being a starter for like 7
Yeah,
years.
he did.
Yeah.
Go Packers.
So here let me tell you the story of Geno Smith. This is
Okay.
actually pretty cool.
All
He got drafted by the Jets.
Okay.
I think like 2014. He was projected to be a first-round pick. Everyone thought he was going to be the first quarterback taken out of that draft, and he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped to like the second or third round. And he played a couple years for the Jets, never did good. He was actually really bad.
Oh.
And then he ended up going to a couple teams as a backup. Then he went to the Seahawks. And you know who Russell Wilson is?
Oh yeah.
Russell Wilson got traded.
Biggest
and
failure of all time.
So Geno took Russell Wilson's spot.
Yeah, because Russell
And-
Wilson went to the Broncos.
Yeah, and so this past year, Geno was the starter the whole year. Everyone was like, this is going to be bad. This is a rebuilding year.
No,
he
he
took
did
them to the
well.
playoffs.
Wow.
He did
well.
really well. Like,
They almost kept going.
I know. He wasn't a starter for like 7 years or 6 years or something like that. And like out of nowhere, he made the Pro Bowl. He was an all-star.
I think
So I think he's underrated.
Yeah, I would say he's underrated for sure.
what do y'all think of what's his name? Vince Young when he played.
He had one good year, and then he cried and left the league.
Yeah. It's just,
You remember all that crying stuff with him?
oh my gosh, yeah.
I
He
don't
was
know
such a
why he
baby.
cried.
I
Yeah,
have no comment on Vince Young.
his rookie year he did good. And they went like Titans went like 13-3 that year.
It's
Went to
the
the
only
AF
time they've done that.
Yeah,
My brother and I and my grandfather were at a game, and I remember got so mad in the middle of the game, he literally took his jersey off and like threw it, and then walked into the locker
Wow.
room.
yeah,
Now, don't get me wrong. We've had some, the Titans have had some bad coaches.
yeah.
They've had some really, really bad coaches.
Yeah.
Munchak, oh my gosh.
Munchak, Kyler Murray. Little
Is that the fast guy for the Cardinals?
small man.
Properly rated.
Yeah.
I feel like they praise him enough, but also they criticize him into the
Yeah,
ground.
he is
Why
criticized.
Is that guy not a running back? He runs and holds the ball like
He's
a running
got a
back.
pretty good arm.
Too
He's
small.
just short. Yeah.
He's just really small.
Can't
dude.
see over his
Where did
defensive
Kyler Murray
lineman.
come from?
Oklahoma.
That's right.
He was Heisman winner.
That's right.
That's another one. I don't like his attitude.
Oh,
I don't think he's a good teammate.
that's fair.
Yeah.
But Vince Young, yeah, he had that one good year, his rookie year. He won Rookie of the Year, and then after that, he couldn't throw. He could run. He could not throw. He was only in the Titans for 2 or 3 years.
He wasn't there long.
That was the biggest fall off, career fallout. Like his career fell drastically after his first year.
You can compare that to Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose.
D Rose.
D Rose.
Oh yeah.
His fall off.
I was thinking of NFL.
Oh, no,
well,
you're
but
good.
that was because of injuries though.
Yeah.
That wasn't really because he still plays, right?
Yeah,
D Rose.
And he's decent.
he's an average player. Yeah.
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 Nothing crazy. And then he played for the Timberwolves a while back, and he actually did really well.
Plays for the Knicks now. Is that right?
D Rose.
No, I think he plays for the Bulls again, doesn't he?
Does he?
Maybe.
D Rose.
Remembering that wrong.
He plays for the Knicks.
Knicks. Okay.
Knicks. Interesting.
He's only 34. He's got a few more years left.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron's gonna stay in until Bronny can go play.
I think LeBron is going to be the longest lasting NBA player to
He might.
exist.
He's gonna be there while he's 50.
he's still one of top 5-10 in the league.
Who? Okay, look this up. Who is the oldest player to ever be in the
Vince Carter.
NBA?
Vince
Oh,
Carter.
that's right. It was like
I already
52
know that.
or no, not
I think he was
42.
45.
45?
Mhm.
Yeah.
45 still playing football.
Holy.
No,
Basketball.
I'm
Basketball.
Basketball.
Well, Tom Brady was.
Yeah, but Tom Brady never
Vince
got hit.
career.
I don't know, man. Vince Carter was insane.
Vince Carter. Oh,
for a while.
maybe he wasn't 45.
I thought he was like 42 or 43.
He played for 22 years. Maybe he was 43.
I think
Man,
he was
he's bald.
40.
All right, well, here's an overrated, underrated. Matt Hasselbeck.
Oh man, I forgot about him. He's bald too.
Who is that?
Kind of looks like you actually.
A little
Hold on.
bit.
Who is that?
Matt Hasselbeck played for the Seahawks for a long time. Then he went to the Titans and played a couple years when they were.
That was
He played when the Titans were really bad.
we had Hasselbeck before we got Mariota.
Yes.
Ah.
Here you go.
Okay.
Here's a picture.
Mariota was terrible. He had an
That guy.
okay season. Yeah.
I wouldn't say Mariota was terrible. I think that he did what he could with the team that he had.
Yeah, he was kind of put in a bad
He
situation.
was put in a
Yeah,
bad situation.
and
He didn't
then-
have an O-line. He didn't really have anybody to throw to.
Then he went on the West Coast and did even worse.
No, he went to Atlanta.
Yeah,
He
He went
did.
to the Falcons.
he didn't. He was okay. He actually got released.
Yeah, they let him go.
He has a lot of potential. He just doesn't perform like when he's on the field. Like
Well, that's Oregon quarterbacks for you.
that's true. But yeah, Hasselbeck, he was more of a Seahawks player. He led them to. He had good seasons with them. But then he went to the Titans when he was older. When the Titans were terrible, like when they had like first overall picks and stuff like that, first round picks.
Yeah.
So Hasselbeck had a decent career. Definitely not. I mean, he's not even close to Hall of Fame, but he was average.
I mean, the Titans are quarterback killers.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Well,
They are.
I don't know. Tannehill had that one good year after Miami where he was a Pro Bowler and
Sorry, but that's because he came from Miami.
yeah. I do like Ryan Tannehill.
Where's
he seems
Tannehill
like
now?
He's still with the
Still
Titans.
No, I mean but we just got picked up. What was his name? Drew Levis or something?
Will Levis.
Will Levis.
Tannehill will still be there for
Tannehill's
one or
still
two
there,
more
and
years.
Malik Willis is still there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's up with Malik Willis? I mean,
He's
why
bad.
Why are we?
He's terrible.
Why are we even messing with him?
I don't know. If
He
I'm being
has
100%
a
honest.
cannon.
I think Vrabel sees something. Maybe Vrabel just sees something that we don't.
He's a good runner. He can't throw though.
Can't throw.
Dude's got a cannon,
Yeah.
but
does.
that's
He
it.
He's not
He knows how to
accurate.
use it.
He's not accurate at all.
It's like I don't know, giving a toddler a missile.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's a perfect description of what Malik Willis is.
What Malik- yeah,
I think
exactly.
Willis will probably get released. Tannehill will be a good.
I think he'll probably be there for another year or two. and
he'll
he-
start one or
either-
two more years.
He'll probably either retire after that, or he might go be a backup. For
I think he
somebody.
could be back. He's only 34.
He's not that old.
No,
he's not that
I think he could be a serviceable. He could be a backup or he could be a bridge quarterback. Like there's a bad team, they need a quarterback, and he's the mentor.
Sadly, Ryan Tannehill.
He could be like the Ryan.
Backup
He could be like the Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Like
when you need him,
yeah.
he's solid, but he's not a long-term starter.
I just wish we had a better first-string quarterback. Ryan Tannehill would be an amazing backup quarterback if you needed him.
Yeah,
but
he even still shows like he has games still where he does pretty good. Like
it's really big mistakes when you really don't need
critical
to make a mistake.
Like, dude, look at these 2020 stats: 33 touchdowns to 7 picks. That is really good.
That's not bad.
That's really good.
Why?
And then the 22 to 6. That's good too.
That's not bad either.
Gosh, he had 3 straight seasons with 12 picks with the Dolphins.
So what would be like an unheard of, like unfathomable season for a quarterback to have?
No picks, 100 completion.
Yeah. Oh, look at these Aaron Rodgers stats, dude. These are insane.
What, new ones?
Recent.
Like
yeah.
recent?
Yeah.
Why? Okay, so tell me, y'all inform me about the situation in Green Bay, because I really don't understand.
Aaron Rodgers and the coach butted heads.
Yeah, for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Because what's that coach's name?
Oh, is it a new coach?
Kind of.
He's
LaFleur.
just a young coach.
LaFleur. Matt LaFleur.
Yeah. He's just a young coach. I think that's the issue.
But, yeah, they butted heads, and honestly, the organization kind of did them wrong. They had Devontae Adams, who's one of the best in the league. They traded him, and then they just didn't draft a receiver. So Rodgers last year was stuck with these bums at receiver, and he
Lazard still did well.
He did all right, but that was like his best one.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have anybody
Adams
else.
went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look at these. These are insane stats. 25 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. 26 to only 4. 48 to only 5. 37 to only 4. That is an insane ratio.
His 2020 year was
yeah.
That COVID year is insane.
Yeah. That he won MVP this year and this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then 38 to 5, 39 to 8, 45 to 6.
Wow, 2012 was a struggle for him, huh?
I think 2012 was a struggle for everyone.
If Rodgers had more rings, which I hate the freaking ring argument, it's so stupid. If he had more rings, he would be considered by more people the best of all time. Because his athletic ability is underrated too. The way he can get out of sacks and stuff.
Huh.
He is more athletically gifted than Tom Brady, and it's not even close. Because Tom Brady can just sit there and he's accurate and he can throw.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually getting out of the pocket and doing more than just catching it and throwing, Rodgers it's a cakewalk for Rodgers.
So explain this to me. Does he have any? Well, this is not whatever. Does he have any rings?
One.
Rodgers has
What
one.
year?
2000. He beat the Steelers.
Oh, that must
2011.
Drew Brees era.
Huh? Drew Brees was on the Saints.
Oh, I was
Ben
Big Ben was-
Roethlisberger was
Big
on the
Ben
Steelers.
was Steelers.
Yeah, he beat the Steelers, but he's got 5 MVPs, 4. I think he's.
I mean, it's the same thing with Drew Brees. Drew Brees only had 1 ring.
Yeah. Honestly, Aaron Rodgers is the best. I think he's the best quarterback I've watched in my lifetime. He's more athletically gifted than Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Peyton didn't like to run a lot.
No, Mahomes is close to Rodgers when it comes to athletic abilities goes. But yeah, that's what Rodgers is known for, is his touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's ridiculous.
Rodgers does not throw a lot of interceptions.
Not at all.
What's the best year a quarterback's ever had?
Peyton Manning, actually.
Really?
2013, I think, with the Broncos.
Interceptions that year?
No, he did, but it was the touchdowns that he had.
Oh. Wasn't it like outlandish?
Insane. I want year by year. How do I find that? Stats. Here we go.
What?
The 2013, he had
55
5,500 yards and 55 touchdowns
That
to 10 picks.
is insane. Did he win the Super Bowl that year?
He lost in the Super Bowl. He won MVP, But then he won the Super Bowl in 2015, which he did okay, but he was hurt. His defense really won that Super Bowl for him. The thing with Peyton Manning, he actually he threw a decent amount of picks.
Really?
Like, he set the rookie record for most interceptions thrown in a year.
Which was?
28.
Oh, my God.
26 touchdowns, but he was on a bad team. Bad team. But after that year, his whole rest of his career was phenomenal.
Wow.
His rookie year was just a lot of learning, I guess.
I remember he almost went to the Titans when he was drafted.
Yeah. Or, no, when he was a free agent, after the Colts released him.
He wanted to.
It was between the Titans and the Broncos. And actually the Dolphins. He was thinking about the Dolphins, too. But he ended up going to Denver because, you know who John Elway is?
Yeah.
You heard that name?
Elway.
John Elway is the GM of the Broncos, one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
And Peyton Manning and John Elway, I think, got along really well. And John Elway basically promised him another MVP and another Super Bowl, and Peyton Manning got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, seeing what we've seen from this latest draft, how do you think this 2023-2024 season is going to go?
Honestly, Chiefs and Eagles are the favorites still.
I think so.
The
too.
Eagles, the Eagles improved a lot.
Don't get me wrong, the Eagles had a phenomenal season last season.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Without Jalen Hurts, they struggle.
Yeah.
Because those 3 games that he was out,
Yeah.
they struggled.
But also, too,
Badly.
the team around him is still the best in the league. He's got weapons everywhere.
He's got weapons
Defense,
everywhere,
offensive line, running back. They got DeAndre Swift from
Did
the
they?
Lions, yeah.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, you know that
Oh,
man.
yeah.
He's on the Eagles now.
Crazy son of a gun.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. I'm still mad at that.
But as long as Patrick Mahomes is in the league, the Chiefs are one of the favorites in the NFL. That man is ridiculous. And Andy Reid is one of the best coaches ever.
Mr. Reid, been doing it a while.
Yeah, I think the Bills are gonna take a little step down. I don't think the Bills are gonna be.
I don't think they're going to go anywhere.
they're gonna do good.
I think
I'm
they'll
interested-
probably be the same as they were last season.
I'm interested to see how Aaron Rodgers will be with the Jets.
The Jets have got a lot of weapons.
They do.
They do. But I think defensively they're going to struggle. Except for
They have Quentin
something.
Williams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't like to get my hopes up about my team, but the Dolphins do have some. They got some weapons,
They got some
dude.
weapons. They got some weapons.
Yes, they got Jalen Ramsey from.
I was really surprised by that. I was really surprised by that.
They got some other little pieces they needed, like safety help. They they drafted another cornerback in the draft. They got. You know who Robbie Anderson is?
What sounds familiar?
Yeah, he's a deep threat. He's fast. They got Robbie Anderson and a couple other people, but
I don't have extremely high hopes for the Titans.
I wouldn't either.
I don't have
no.
extremely high hopes.
This is a rebuilding year unless Lewis just absolutely pops off.
and I'm not saying I don't think the Dolphins will go to the Super Bowl, but
No.
I can't get my hopes up because every time I do, they just kill me. But
I mean, they didn't have a horrible season last year.
if Tua didn't get hurt, they would have had a better season.
They would have had a much better
He was out the last 6 games, and and then their second string quarterback got hurt, and then they were stuck with a 3rd-round rookie quarterback.
That's what happened with the Titans, too. Tannehill got hurt, and then Malik got hurt, and we just didn't have a quarterback for about 3 weeks.
Because we were 8-3, and then Tua got hurt. We finished the season 9-8.
Yeah.
We lost 5 out of the last 6 games.
Yeah.
If
So
Tua
did,
was,
so did the Titans. The
I'm
Titans
telling you, dude.
had a really bad losing streak. They lost 6 games in a row.
yeah, Tua. It's unfair for Tua the hate he gets. It's without him, we wouldn't have had a good year last year.
No.
But
I can see that.
yeah,
There was a bunch of talk about him in college, and then all I heard after that was hate.
he
he
sucks.
was-
As soon as he got drafted, people were like, "Yeah, he sucks." Why?
He was beautiful in college. There was nothing wrong with him in
Yeah,
college.
he
Bama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that is another reason why people don't like him, just because of Bama.
But people don't hate on anybody else. They only hate on quarterbacks that come from Bama.
Yeah.
They don't ever hate on anybody defensively, offensively, ever.
I hated that we got Derrick Henry when I first heard about it.
I didn't. I loved that.
I remember watching him at Bama, and it was like watching a horse run through a football field. It was insane.
I will pray for Bryce Young, though.
Oh, my gosh,
What happened to him?
dude. He's just small.
He's gonna get lit up.
And the Panthers are not a good team.
He's going to get lit up.
Oh, he's on the Panthers.
He's on the Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers
got rid of all of their weapons.
Yeah.
They had B.J. Moore, who was awesome.
Yeah.
Good luck.
They still do have Deontay Foreman, who was the Titans.
And Miles Sanders.
And Miles Sanders.
Yeah, he's kind of like Kyler
Panthers
Murray.
Is gonna be a lot
he's small.
They're gonna be a running team. That's what they're gonna.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be.
They're gonna have to be a running team.
Or else Bryce Young's gonna die.
That's horrible.
We'll see. We got like 3 months until the season starts, or the preseason starts.
I'm counting down the days.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I kind of want to make I don't know. I want to go through the season for each team's schedule.
Yeah.
And like predict and just see how well I do.
I could see that.
That'd be fun.
Let's write that up. We can write that up.
All right, I think that's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the sports discussion. Probably won't have many of these because I don't, just it's not really our podcast, but every once in a while it's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Chris,
thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. If you want more sports type discussions, just let us know. We can make it happen somehow.
It'll happen.
Like to have like our own little sports thing in the future. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, I can get a music thing. You have a sports thing.
Mm-hmm. Little branch off.
Involved in all of that.
Yeah. What?
I was just gonna make a joke. It said jump over a table, talk about sports, and then come talk to me and be like, "Dude, why hasn't Kanye came back?"
I don't think there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with music.
Let's leave that alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us for a session of awkwardness. Go Balls.
Awesome.